Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Wednesday to everyone out there. We've got a video about Queen Victoria, that's Victoria Larson, pretty much going off on producers. They said, why do you hate the producers? And she says, because they're manipulative and pick and choose storylines. And it's like, yeah, we know that, but she says more. We're going to get into all of that. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram, @DNeals, and join me on Patreon this morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll be going live for several hours today as we make content behind the scenes. You can hang with us, listen to music, and all that jazz. All right, so Victoria Larson, no stranger to controversy here on the show, but it's been a while since we've talked about her. We have some videos that we're going to catch you guys up on of, basically just being body shamed. She's been body shamed from friends or golf buddies of Matt James, and also she apologized on Good Morning America. Let's listen to that apology real quick.
Cover story, a Bachelor exclusive. This season's drama-stirring Queen Victoria Larson. Well, she's now in the hot seat after a mugshot emerged from a 2012 arrest for shoplifting.
All right, so a mugshot came up of her shoplifting from years ago, and it's never a good thing. You try to learn from your past. Even I was rewatching this video. This is one of my most watched videos of all time, 172,000 views, and honestly, like even I was pretty mean to her. She said some mean things on the air, though, but, two wrongs don't make a right. Shot issue. All right, so now we've got Victoria.
All in good fun.
When you watch the show back and you see yourself name calling, do you regret that?
They knew me and knew my heart and knew that I really never have ill intent. So I think they viewed it differently just because they know me.
So the words didn't hit as harsh as they come across on TV, you're saying?
I don't think so.
All right, there you go. Hey, she said some mean things, right? So here's what she said in her Q&A. We're going to read that right here. One of my favorite things is when people recognize me and are purposefully rude to me because they think I'm an awful person. It's almost as great as the online trolls. Shaking my head. Obviously, that's sarcasm. Doing this show was probably the worst experience of my life, and I hate the producers truly. However, I try and look with greater perspective. There are way more significant issues in the world, and mine are minuscule in comparison. Focus on my blessings always. All right, and this is interesting because, they sign these contracts that they can't divulge information, this and that, but I don't know if there's a contract stipulation that says you can't just hate on the producers. So good for her. Get it off your chest. Now, look, Victoria Larson did and said things that were pretty shocking, reprehensible. I mean, there were some bad looks going on, calling people sluts and whores and different things like that. Now, the question remains, though, is like, did she pay the price? And at what point do you move forward? If you build your audience from the show that saw you as that bully, then it seems like that whole audience, or at least a portion of them, your view of them won't change. That was their first impression. But how much of this doing is the Bachelor's fault versus them saying, hey, you said these. We edited you to look bad, but you said these things. And it's probably a little bit in between. They're obviously, kept up all hours of the night. They're in these heightened situations and on their social media or true friends. There's all these trust issues. And then the producers are literally trying to get them to do things. Some people have personality types that will play the role more than others, being a pawn. So Victoria probably played the role better than others. Maybe she was naive, thinking it would come across as funny. Maybe the producers are like, oh man, everyone's going to love you. They're going to love this wittiness. You're this progressive, say it how it is type of thing. And then the producers probably knew the whole time, oh boy, we are going to have so much to work with here. Someone said, do you ultimately regret going on The Bachelor? Love you, by the way. And she says, I try to not have regrets, but there are some things I'd have done differently, ultimately not in my control, though. Now, before I read the final two, she's been through hell and back. She really has. Obviously, the words she said, she can't take back. She did apologize. But, she's been kind of shamed and ridiculed. And at what point is it enough? So here's what was said about her from Matt James' golfing partners. He laughed at what was said about her, which is different than him saying it himself, but it's by all means not saying, hey, man, come on.
His appearance to distract Matt.
So this is Matt's putting, and, the guys are just trying to say anything to get under his skin. So this random guy, Jerry, who apparently Matt didn't know, but they were golfing together, starts throwing insults about Victoria Larson.
See you through.
He goes, how was Victoria's body?
You know, because when I look at her, it doesn't look nice. And you've been making out with this woman.
He goes, because when I look at her, it doesn't look nice. And you've been making out with this woman. I mean, this is cruel stuff. No matter how you slice it, it's cruel stuff, right?
Can someone pull the pin for me?
And Matt's only response is, can someone pull the pin for me? Not good. Tyler Cameron was there. Not good. You know, I think Matt made a statement about it afterwards. But, you know, it's just telling that we live in this society where we sort of feel like we have the freedom to criticize her because of the way we saw her portrayed. And it's just not one-on-one, right? It's not one-on-one. It's like if someone's mean to me, I can be mean to them back. Well, there are instances where you give people a taste of their own medicine. And then there's instances like this where you have the whole country saw somebody who's on TV for the first time, you know, say words that they later regretted, say they're not a bully. And I remember saying like, oh my gosh, how reprehensible is Victoria Larson? How dumb was she to think that she could say these sorts of things? And then I did get some DMs from somebody who goes, you know what, I'm Victoria's friend. She's not that bad. And it makes you wonder, like, you know what? No one's as bad as we see them on their worst day or as good as we can think of them on their best day. We all have days where we're hangry or days we don't want to be at the office or days we have, and, you know, most of us, all of us, don't have to deal with that being stuck on TV and edited in a way that only shows that. Now, if she was on the show for, I don't know, let's say she was shooting for 10 days, 8 days, 7 days, whatever it was, 6 days. She was on the show for about a week, right? You've got, I don't know, 4 hours of content, 5, 6 hours of content that she's a part of on the group dates, on the in the moments, the testimonials, so shooting multiple things at the same time. They're gonna find those moments where she is rude, where she is doing all those things. And we didn't get to see that as much on Bachelor in Paradise. I truly think Bachelor in Paradise gives a more honest portrayal of who someone is because we see them in a much more neutral social setting. We see them with multiple couples, multiple people of different genders. We don't just get to see this heightened, like we're all on the group date, kind of like bat out of hell energy that we get. So here's the final two things she said. With your experience on Bachelor, is it still a compliment to call you queen? She said it was so fun being called queen on set, and then after had such a negative connotation, but F it, who doesn't love being called queen? And then someone says, why do you hate the producers? And she says, because they're manipulative and pick and choose storylines. And then I think I missed the one where she said, someone asked her, I don't have it right here, but someone asked her, hey, I mean, they didn't make you rip someone's crown off their head. And her response was, well, they definitely asked me to. So we get to see that the producers are the devil, you know, on your shoulder, trying to goat you into doing things. And maybe if you're ever caught in a place where you're not, I don't know, maybe secure or, you know, you're trying to fit in or you're trying to please others. We see this with people pleasers on the show. I'd love to see like some more psychology done on this, but we see this with people pleasers like a Clayton Echard. He's a people pleaser, right? He said that he wants to make everyone happy. In his pursuit to make everyone happy, he obviously pissed people off, right? He tried to make everyone happy, and when you do that, you know, no one wins, especially in these types of scenarios. It's one thing to be a people pleaser when you know, or you're just a dad trying to provide for your family. It's another when you're a people pleaser and trying to date multiple people, and you might omit information or say different things. And Victoria, while she was mean to the other contestants, for all we know, could have just been trying to be a people pleaser to the producers. Now, you might say, Dave, you're really bending over backwards to understand and give grace to Victoria. And it's like, damn right I am. Damn right I am. I mean, she went on the show for free. You know, she gets paid for Bachelor in Paradise, but not for Bachelor. She's got to deal with bullies. You know, we call it the bully pulpit. I know that's not what the definition really is, but like, probably afraid, probably has PTSD to go into her DMs because she's going to get comments from people that are just not going to see her as a more nuanced version of who she is, not a villain. So someone said, are you a whore? Only on vacay, but every day is a vacation. I mean, so she plays it off and tries to have fun there, but rough comments, right? Rough, pretty rough, right? And people go, wow, you called so-and-so a whore. And you say, well, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. I mean, you know, did Victoria learn anything over the last year? So there she is, and she's living her best life. And look, hey, Victoria Larson, realtor, and she's got some estate for sale on her Instagram. I think she's actually done a pretty good job of I don't want to say rehabbing her image in a way where she seems so purposefully trying to not play the villain, but I think that she's, from what I've seen on her social media, I think that she's kind of accepted that people are going to hate her and just know that she's kind of like pushing for some more spiritual connection out there. In the end, maybe years down the road, she might say, well, that was the catalyst I needed to get my life together. Who really knows? All I know is we really should be careful on judging people based on what we see on the TV. And I love that we can kind of follow these people afterwards on their social media and see, hey, are they still shaming people or doing this or doing that, you know? And it doesn't look like we see that with Victoria. So it's not a pass from me, but it's I get that you regret going on the show, and I get that you wish you could have done things differently. Don't we all, folks? Leave a comment, join the Patreon, and I've got brand new stand-up comedy clips below and a new Dave Neal show coming out today. So join my new YouTube channel, Dave Neal Stand-Up Comedy Clips. I'll post a link below, and you can kind of check out some of my comedy I've been working on. All right, folks, we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.